Hello and welcome to YouTube Developers Live. We have an exciting show for you today. I would like to introduce my special guest, Florian Dejako from Elgato Systems. How are you doing, Florian?
I'm great. Hi, Jarek.
Thank you for coming. And I understand we will talk about live streaming and gaming today. So let's talk a little bit about your company. Tell us what you guys do. How did you get started?
Yeah, we are Elgato Systems. We were founded in 1999 in Los Gatos. That explains the name.
Mm-hmm.
We have been working in software for many years. Before we started to found the company, we are actually the original developers of the Toast CD recording software on the Mac.
Yeah, I remember that.
We started Elgato Systems to create exciting products. One of our first products was iTV. iTV turns your Mac into a TiVo. It is television viewing, recording, archiving, editing, and so forth software that lets you watch television, edit, basically everything you would want to do with a Mac, that many more things you can't even do with a TiVo.
Cool.
Basically, over the years we have added features, we have added different TV standards. We started out with just a product for the United States, then we added Europe, television. There are many different standards in the world, and we like to think we support them all. We have expanded to different platforms. We are now running on iOS, iPad, iPhone. We are also on Windows with a slightly different software offering, and Android as well.
Cool. So when did you start working with the gaming vertical and start offering the gaming solutions?
Yeah, gaming is a very interesting field for us. The interesting thing about it is we did not find gaming found us. We were surprised about the level of a lot of people were using our software edition for iTV to use it with hardware that was made by another company, and a lot of software piracy happened in that course, where people were basically taking our software and using it with somebody else's hardware to make recordings, and we were wondering, what are these people actually doing? We asked our users, the ones who paid for it, and found out a lot of these people don't record set-top boxes for satellite TV and cable television like we intended with the software. It turns out a lot of them were recording video games. They were connecting the hardware to PlayStations and Xboxes. And the live recording feature that was in iTV, in the iTV software, which is always recording and that lets you, jump back in time and continue watching later and so forth, was extremely useful for these gamers.
Right.
They really enjoyed that. They could be playing for many hours, and then they were just finally getting that one achievement in the game that they were always hoping for. And with other solutions, they would find out that they, at that point, they forgot to hit the record button and they missed it. With iTV, they could just go back in time, start the recording then, and then share their results with their friends.
Great. So without further ado, can you show us how that's done with Elgato Game Capture HD?
Yeah, Game Capture, the device itself is a video capture device like we have, we've been offering to users for some years now.
So it's a little box that you
It is a little box
to your game console
that you attach. It basically plugs in between your console and your TV set, because you want to be able to continue playing, obviously, on your big screen TV, and it captures HDMI or component video, and it outputs HDMI in a full HD, and basically lets you capture the video signal as it passes onto your TV.
Great. So this is what we have set up in the studio, right? We have the Elgato box. We have a game here running on our iPad with HDMI out coming into the box, and then the Elgato device is actually connected to your Mac over USB, right?
That is the setup we have here. That's
Cool.
correct. On the Mac or Windows, you run the game capture software, which is running here and is already running, is already recording my game. And as you can see, there's a lot of functions going on, but why don't I start with a demo of the game on the iPad?
Show us your skills. Can you up the volume a little bit so we can
Yes, absolutely.
hear the engine roar? All right, and this is Trial Extreme 3, right?
Trial Extreme 3.
By D-Media.
And I'm new to this, so bear with me.
There's only 1 million people watching it right now, so no pressure.
No pressure.
Okay, so I'm seeing a preview of what you're seeing on the iPad in the Game Capture HD player. I guess that's what you guys call it.
Yes.
All right. That's a nice trick. You can do it.
Made it.
Star.
And there I crashed.
Pretty good. Oh no. Okay,
Too bad.
what happens
It
next?
happens.
So
Well,
now that you failed,
now
you're
that
gonna
I
show it to the
failed,
world.
I can show that I've been showing my failure live on YouTube already. So what you see here is my YouTube channel. I was streaming live from Google Developer Live. There's a little bit of a delay, so what you see is basically that failed run that I just made.
Got it. So this is basically the stream that is generated by your desktop software, right?
That is right. I'm streaming live to YouTube using the new YouTube API version 3. And we've been very excited to work with YouTube during the beta phase of this feature and to bring streaming to the masses. And
Great.
Here we go.
So just going back to the player, can you go back a little bit and tell us a little bit more about, you have a lot of knobs and a lot of functions. What do they actually do?
Yeah, game capture software. The user interface is primarily split up in two sections, one for the one for capturing and one for editing. And it also works on Macintosh and Windows the same way. We have the capture side that I'm showing here. At the top I see information about my current device. I see my game audio, which is still coming in from the iPad.
Uh-huh.
I can also add a live commentary. This is useful if I have a microphone in my room and I want to talk to my friends. I want my friends to hear what I'm saying, but my Xbox or PlayStation is not actually outputting that sound, so we are capturing it with a separate microphone, and we just mix it into the stream.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, we are currently live streaming, so the live streaming section shows me I'm on air with YouTube.
So this is the part where you integrated the live streaming API, right? So if I just hit the button there, you create the broadcast and the stream automatically, programmatically, right? So the user never has to go to youtube.com and do that, right?
That is correct. If you don't have a live event scheduled already, you get to stream. We create an event for you, and we stream to that.
Uh-huh.
But we also support what a lot of the more professional gamers have been asking us to do.
Mm-hmm.
We also support selecting a stream or an event that you already created on YouTube.
I see.
So you can go to YouTube, you can customize your event, you can set up all the titles, you can give it a thumbnail, and so forth.
Right.
And then you just select it in the game capture software to stream to it.
So the use case here, I'm a pro gamer, I'm gonna just play my friends, and I can actually create the event ahead of time, promote it, and then connect the Game Capture HD to that event and start streaming whenever the tournament starts, for example.
That's right.
Cool.
And at the same time, we want to make it easy for everybody to use this feature. So if you didn't do the your homework of advertising your stream and you just say, I'm ready to go, just stream already, you can do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I can tag my video. I can catalog by which game it was that I was playing. I can say, I can give my recordings or my videos a description, and I can obviously use tags that tie into the YouTube tagging system.
Mm-hmm.
That is the capture side. I can now switch to the edit side, and you see my library of previously recorded videos, and also a little editor which you can use to mark your highlight sections and trim out the bits that you're not so proud of. And when you're done editing, you can export and share your video achievements with your friends on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can also do what a lot of people do is they actually export to Final Cut Pro or iMovie or Sony Vegas on the PC, and they add their own introductions and subtitles and so forth.
I see. So you can do both. You can live stream, and then you can produce like a highlights reel by editing, post-processing in your editor or in a pro editor by exporting that gameplay.
Absolutely.
To it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then you mentioned that you don't actually have to hunt for that perfect moment because your software is running continuously.
Correct.
So there's some kind of a background recording function that is going on all the time, and you can go back at any time and just pick a clip.
That is right.
Okay, is that
on
the blue bar at the bottom?
The blue bar at the bottom, you can go back in your recording, and if you want, you can. A lot of this is just the start screen.
I see.
That's what we were doing here.
It's a buffer.
It is a live buffer. We call it Flashback Recording. We capture the last hour of everything you played.
I see.
And at any time, you can go back in that time and say, I want to start my recording here.
Great.
If you know you're going to be good, you can just start recording and play.
Yeah, like you.
I try.
All right, so let's switch gears and talk a little bit more about the technology behind all this. I mean, there's a lot of pieces here. So tell us a little bit more about, how is the front end implemented? Why do you need a box? What are the protocols? What are the APIs that you guys have used for our technical audience? I'm sure this is all very interesting.
Yeah, we obviously need hardware because otherwise you can't just connect a computer in between your PlayStation and your TV set. That's why we have.
So why can't I? I mean, are there just digital signals coming out of the HDMI? And
the current generations of consoles are not really made for sharing the content by themselves. So the only way to capture that video is to connect to a HDMI component.
I see.
And we encode the signal, the video signal, to H.264.
And this is done by the box?
That is done by the box. So
it's some kind of a chip silicon you guys built?
Correct.
Or
it is something we license from a company. And the encoded signal gets sent to the computer. The computer records it. We play it using our own H.264 decoder. And we have all these features, editing live, the live time buffer and so forth. And we decode it, we record it. We take care, of only keeping the last hour of your recording and so forth. We are very careful to make the user experience the same on Mac and Windows. We have listened to what the gamers have been asking us to do. For instance, the live commentary feature was something that was created in response to user feedback.
Yeah.
And as well as the live streaming feature, people have been asking us to stream, and they're very happy that YouTube finally is opening up.
Right. For those of you that are watching, Elgato was one of the launch partners for the new YouTube live streaming API, and we have recently announced at Google I/O that we are opening up the access to the live streaming platform. So if you are a good gamer and you have 1,000 or more subscribers, you can apply for access, and then you can use YouTube live streaming to show off your skills and the device that you could use to actually take care of the encoding and streaming, it's something like the Capture HD. So why was it important for you to have the same user experience on Windows and the Mac?
We have been very successful in with that approach with other video capture products, and we find Windows users appreciate good user interface and just the same as Mac users would.
I see.
And also in designing the user interface, it was more consistent to make things similar. That goes so far that something like a pop-over window, for instance, with detailed settings, we just re-implemented that on Windows because that is not a thing that normally lives on Windows.
I see.
But we find people click on a button once, they see the little window pop up, and they understand immediately what's going on.
Got it.
So a lot of those elements that are very familiar to Mac users, they work just the same on Windows.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as the YouTube API, so you're using the YouTube live streaming API that we launched recently. Are you guys doing straight REST calls, or are you using the client library?
On Mac and Windows, those are not implemented quite the same way. On the Windows implementation, we are actually using the C# library.
Oh, great.
Thanks for making that. It works quite well.
Great. I'll pass that to the team.
Yes. And on the Mac, we found that it was easier to just create requests by hand.
I see. So we do have an Objective-C library that works quite well on the Mac. Is the app implemented in C, or is it Objective-C?
The user interface implementation is dictated by the operating system.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to use Cocoa anywhere, but on Windows we're using C# with .NET.
Yeah.
And Objective-C with Cocoa on the Mac. We have a common core of library functions that is in C++. We have a lot of expertise with C++. And we've been using that for 20 years. So it works quite well for us.
Great. And then one thing that we always like to ask is there anything that surprised you while you were building the product? Anything about your users, and anything about the API? Anything you're willing to share with our audience?
Yeah, for us, game capture was really quite a shift in the direction of what the company is doing. We have been making these TV products, and many of the TV users were, well, they were our age, and a lot of the gamers.
You mean very young.
Very young. So the gamers that we're now working with, they're really young. And working with these kids is a very interesting and exciting change. A change in energy, I would say. It's quite interesting to be working with these people, 17-year-old people who have 2 million subscribers on their YouTube channel. And it's also a very interesting way to market, obviously. Every time one of these guys holds up our product and says that's what they use to record, all their fans obviously hopefully want to use the same. And it was surprising and quite pleasant to see how the young audience is appreciating this new system that we introduced.
I see. So it sounds like you were really closely working with your customer and really changing the product to fit their feedback.
Absolutely.
Is that
We're
why it
always
looks so
listening.
cool and shiny?
We listen and we follow where the user is going.
Great.
And thanks to all the gamers who keep providing the feedback. Keep it coming.
Great. And then anything about the API? Anything that you feel like went well and things that didn't? Any features that we should be looking into implementing?
It's a tough one. Germany for us. I'm German, as you may have heard, and our company has 2 offices in Germany. They can't actually watch the streams. It would be great for YouTube and the German authorities to get, pulling in the same direction and actually enabling, opening up YouTube and resolving all the copyright issues that may be attached to that.
Cool. I'll pass that feedback to our guys. You can pass it to the German government. All right. So, let me see if we have any questions in our moderator. I see one that is relevant. I think it's addressed to me. whether YouTube Developer Relations is hiring. And yes, the answer is we are hiring. To learn more, go to developers.google.com/jobs. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to stop by our studio today. It's a really fantastic device. I'm really happy to see the early adopters of our YouTube live streaming API, and I'm looking forward for the great footage that we'll see on YouTube thanks to a product like yours. Thank you very much. And for those of you watching, see you next time, next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Bye.
Thank you.